Hi, I'm Kim Miles. I'm the cinematographer on The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, and my job is to work with Dallas, the director, and Jean, the production designer, and Maria, the costumes designer, to take the movie from the script to the screen. Our approach on the movie has been something that Dallas and I have talked about for a little bit. Wanting to be kind of I don't want to say the word timeless, but timeless is the word that keeps coming up. And trying to keep the show looking classic without pitting it to a time period, and giving it a look that is accessible to everybody, brings feelings of nostalgia and comfort and joy, I guess, to the audience. Lighting wise, we've created a kind of a simple, sort of honest world that our characters exist in. And camera-wise, we're doing some very conscious framing, making conscious framing decisions to keep the show looking a lot like the Norman Rockwell paintings that we use as inspiration that we've talked about all through prep. So hopefully we're doing a good job of that, but we're trying to keep it simple and accessible and kind of classic looking. I think lighting wise, we're trying to keep things motivated by reality and down to earth and anchored in a kind of a real world sensibility, but with a little bit of an extra sparkle, just to give it a sense of being something special, being a little bit out of the ordinary, and being a little bit more something that you can keep in your heart and remember over the years. Camera-wise, we're taking, like I say, a lot of inspiration from Norman Rockwell paintings and being very conscious of trying to build a story in each frame and not relying on big camera moves to tell stories, and wanting to, as much as possible, tell as much story in every frame as we can, which is what you do in a painting when you only have one solitary moment to tell all the story that you have.
Does that mean wider shots?
Sometimes it means wider stuff, so it doesn't. Sometimes it means closer stuff. It does mean wider angle lenses. I think we do. We do a lot of wider lenses up close rather than going on long lenses further away to get into close-ups and stuff. And that way we preserve more of our sets and more of our environment, so there's more story going on around the characters, for sure.
It's cool. The movie looks beautiful.
Thanks.
You're doing an amazing job. We're just so pleased with your
There's
work.
a lot of people that
There's
work real early in the morning.
There's a lot of people.
I would say put story first. Never forget what the story is. Never forget where the motivations come from. Number two, I'd say be true to your environment, be true to yourself, and that comes with the story also. The story's got to be a certain way, and what you're doing camera-wise has to be a certain way. And third, what would the third tip be? Trust the people around you. Let them bring what they need to bring to the show, and collaborate. Nobody has all the answers. There's always something new to learn, and be honest to yourself and be honest to everyone around you, and as long as everyone's working towards the same goal, it can only get better. At the end of the day, we're just here making a movie and telling a story, and since the dawn of time, human beings have been telling stories, gathered around a campfire and scratching things into the cave walls. So I think it's sort of a natural thing that people want to do. Everyone wants to tell a story and leave a little bit of a legacy behind, maybe, and to be able to do this on a daily basis and get paid for it and raise a family and everything else from doing it is it's a treat, and I think everybody that's here feels the same way. So it's an easy sell.
Yeah.
I started as a grip in a production company in Malaysia where I grew up, that belonged to the parents of my best friend in school. So all through high school, all through, in fact, I knew Justin from when we were 3 years old. We went to kindergarten together. And when high school was over, we had nothing to do, so we went to work for his mom and dad, and kind of got hooked. And that was 35 years ago now, and here we are. It's too late to do anything.
How did you get from grip department and over to camera?
We had at the company where I started, there all the crew was in-house. Everybody was employed within the company, and I could see right away that the camera guys got all the action. So so I pestered my way into the camera department, and then it wasn't until I went to college, did still photography in school, and then over the summers I would go back and be a camera assistant, and then in 1996, I think my wife and I moved back to Malaysia because my friend Justin, whose parents owned the company, now had his own company. He said, "Come work with us." So I did as a camera assistant. And then a Canadian director that was also working in Malaysia at the time booked me to come out and shoot a KFC commercial. and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know why he hired me. I'd never done anything like that before, DPing. And he said, "Well, it's too late. I've already cleared you with the agency and you're hired." So I kind of jumped in with both feet on that day. Learned so much on the first day from everyone around me because everyone was collaborative and supportive. So without that, I don't think I would have stuck with it because it's a much different job than being a camera assistant. But that led, one thing led to another. I shot 30 some odd commercials throughout Southeast Asia, in Malaysia. Shot the first commercials that ever aired in Vietnam for Head and Shoulders, and I think Tide laundry soap was the other one. And then I came back to Canada and got into narrative filmmaking. And at that point, I was told I was 25 years old, I think, and got back to Canada and was told that I was too young to be a DP, and regardless of what my reel said. So I ended up gaffing a bunch of movies and learned some tricks from from some other DPs, which was great. And then got a break shooting a little movie in 8 days, and then that was back in 2004, and everything's just kind of snowballed since.